Sometimes tempers flare, and unfortunately, mistakes happen. If you ever find yourself charged with domestic violence, it's important to get a great team of lawyers on your side who can prepare you for the tough road ahead. Jansen Alfrey, attorneys at law, are members of the Colorado and Denver Bar Association. They belong to the Colorado Criminal Defense Bar and the National College of DUI Defense Attorneys, and they have no complaints registered with the Better Business Bureau. Molly Jansen and Kurt Alfrey join us this morning. Thank you both for being here.
Good morning.
We're going to be talking about domestic violence. Now, weekends are a time where that crime increases, is what you're telling me. And it kind of makes sense because people are maybe partying and have some alcohol, and the crime kind of revolves around that. There's been changes, though, in the law. Explain what those changes are and how that's going to impact people.
Sure. Well, I think the first thing that people need to understand is that if you're convicted of a domestic violence crime, whether a misdemeanor or a felony, you're looking at probation, you're looking at mandatory protection orders that may remove you from your house, not allow you to see your kids, and it requires domestic violence counseling. The law used to be a mandatory 36 weeks. They have now since changed that. It is now discretionary, which means your probation officer gets to decide how long you're going to do counseling, which could be anywhere from, I think the least I've seen is maybe 15 classes to, I don't know how many. I mean, it could go on and sort of be in an indefinite situation. You're paying for that. You're staying on supervised probation. It can be a nightmare. And so I think people need to understand that the consequences are pretty heavy.
And I think most people understand that if you hit a spouse and the police are called, you're going to be charged with domestic violence. But it can be from as little as screaming and breaking things to taking things from your spouse. Explain what people can be charged for.
It doesn't require physical violence between two people. I mean, if you go out and slash your spouse's tires or your boyfriend's tires or whatever it is, I mean, that's domestic violence because it's attached to an intimate relationship between the two people. That's really what they're looking for. So, excuse me, it can be a broad range of things.
And Molly, you've even said too, I mean, just taking someone's telephone from them, their cell phone.
Yeah, telephone obstruction, we see that one a lot where there's this, screaming match going on. The neighbor calls the police. Cops are now rolling out there. They're going to charge somebody. But while that process is happening, one of the two people has picked up a cell phone to call 911 and the other one takes it. Guess what? Not good, because now you've got telephone obstruction. Breaking something that you jointly own, that's criminal mischief. Slashing tires, that's a good, you see that a lot.
Right.
Any kind of act like that where there's been an intimate relationship is generally going to result in domestic violence. And if the cops are on scene,
yes,
someone's going to the tank.
Someone's going to jail.
Yeah, that was
just the rule.
Exactly the point I was going to make then. If the police are called and they come out there, someone is going to jail.
Absolutely. I think I've had one case in all my years of practice where the cops went on scene and left. And that was sort of the end of that. But that's an extreme rarity in this situation. But people don't understand, too, is that if your kids are in the house and you're in this situation, guess what?
Right.
You got child abuse and a protection order. I mean, it's a mess. We see people who have to move out of their houses, can't see their kids. I mean, it is chaos.
Yeah, because that protection order comes in automatically, and if you're the person that went to jail, it's going to list everybody else, and you're not going to be able to see them. You don't get to see your kids. You can't talk to your spouse. You have to deal with parenting issues in front of the judge. How are we going to communicate? It's a real mess.
It's a real mess, and it's very complicated. So if this does happen, and hopefully, we all hope it doesn't, but if it does, you need to contact an attorney, or you're looking at charges that you may not know what to do with.
And potentially jail. I mean, that's the other thing that people need to recognize. If you have a criminal history, even from 20 years ago, you may be spending a little time in jail. And I think, our message, which, as we're always trying to send some messages out here, which is if you're in a situation that's heated, go away, walk away. Get on foot, go away. If you've been drinking, don't drive. Just get out on foot, walk away, take a breather, call somebody that's supportive, do something other than stay in that heated situation and make it worse.
Thank you for sharing this information because it is important for people to hear and to know what to do. So I'm going to tell our viewers how they can get a hold of you.
Great, thanks.
Jansen Alfrey wants to ensure that you're represented fairly and informed about the charges against you before you make a bad decision. They're a criminal defense law firm, and they handle everything from traffic offenses to domestic violence to DUI to major felonies. Call them at 303-297-3500 or visit their website at jansenalfrey.com. They offer free consultations. The number again is 303-297-3500.